Hello, Just Gem here and welcome, or indeed welcome back to my channel. Today, for the first time, I'm going to be trying out some products from Danessa Myricks. And I know what you're thinking, where have I been? Apparently living under a rock. I have been aware, obviously, of Danessa Myricks, but to be honest, none of her products really piqued my interest until the Lightwork Volume V palette. That's the first product of hers that made me raise an inquisitive eyebrow and decide that I wanted to try some items from her brand. I also wanted to try out the Blurring Balm foundation and almost do a bit more of a full face of Danessa Myricks, but to be perfectly honest with you, I could not for the life of me figure out which shade I needed, and I didn't want to shell out on shades 9 and or 10 and realise that neither one was the right one for me, and that perhaps the shade I in fact needed was 9.5, which is a shade she hasn't released yet. So I'll wait patiently for 9.5 because I suspect that will be the one, but in the meantime I thought I would play with the items that I do have. Without further ado, let's get stuck in. By this point, I'm sure that you already know what the inside of this palette looks like, but just in case you would like your memory refreshed, this is the inside of the Danessa Myricks Lightwork Volume V I Am palette. I am very late to the party. I've not tried anything by Danessa Myricks before, but I've picked up this palette and then I've also picked up a couple of the Lowlighters and one of the Blurring Balm powder flushed, one of the blushes basically. I'm going to be sticking my grubby little mitts in all of those today. I have already primed my eyelids. I've tried a liquid eyeshadow base today, the Be Perfect Prime eyeshadow base. I wanted to use a liquid today because if you watched my last video, you'll know that I mentioned that my lid seemed really dry, and I feel like a cream eyeshadow base is more likely to stick to any dryness than a liquid one would be. So that's why I've tried a liquid eyeshadow base today, and it's also quite light, so I'm hoping that that will help the colours pop. I'm thinking that because these are all shimmers, I'll do something relatively simple, so maybe 2 colours up top and 1 or 2 on the bottom, which already doesn't sound all that simple at all, but I want to do something that's quite simple while still using as many shades as I can. We'll see how that pans out. Okay, let's get in a little bit closer to my mirror and also a little bit closer to the camera. I'm going to try Powerful as a mostly all over the lid shade. Mostly. And I am using a fluffy brush. Don't know how high I can get away with taking this. And I don't know why it's taken me so long to try this brand. Like, Danessa Myricks has popped up pretty regularly. I've seen her previous Lightworks palettes before, but this is probably the first one that's intrigued me. That's made me go, ooh, that's powerful. That's a really, I don't know how to describe that. It's got purple in it, it's got gold in it. Yeah, that's nice, I like that. For the rest of my lid, like you can see I've left some space there, I'm going to try Radiant, I think. That's not Radiant, that's Radiant, right there. So, little finger for precision. I I definitely wanted to try the blues and the greens in here, because blues and greens, and even the purples, but Powerful does have a bit of purple in that. But then I wasn't expecting that it would, which is silly of me really, because when you look at the way that the palette is designed and the way the colours are clumped together, it makes sense that Powerful's got a bit of purple in there really, doesn't it? But we are where we are. But thinking about the upcoming videos that I want to film, I thought it best to avoid blue and green and potentially purple, to avoid being somewhat repetitive. Ooh, that's striking, that is. Definitely a fan of my finger for this kind of application. I love it, and I'm getting better at being more precise as well. Sometimes I go a bit overboard and get it everywhere, but I really like those two together. Might just go in a bit to get more of a blend. I've also not done my base yet because I suspected there might be some fallout. I could go for an inner corner highlight. I don't know if I want to try Protected or Resilient. Let's see what Protected looks like. Ooh, so that's Protected over there. That's more. Again, I should have guessed that would be purple. Why did I think that that would be? Probably should have swatched these first. It's not normally the route I would go for an inner corner highlight, but I don't hate it. What I might do is, now I know it's a bit more purple, let's take it up a bit. Yeah, I like that. I think you get the gist of where I'm going. What do I want to do for my under eye? I don't know yet, but I'm going to do my other eye, do my base, and then I'll come back and do my lower lash line. I've just gone and put some foundation on today. I've just put on Estee Lauder Double Wear. And now to finish the under eye. I mean, this is just stunning. I didn't know how this was going to go just using this, and I did wonder how my crease would look, and I was nervous. I wasn't expecting that inner corner highlight to be purple, but I think carrying it through into my crease has just, I mean, it's like it's elevated the look. Wholly unintentional, but I think that looks beautiful. Now, I didn't want to go into green because I know that green and blue and purple are going to feature heavily in the coming weeks. I mean, they're going to feature heavily anyway because they're my favourite colours for eyeshadow. But I just feel like green under the eye could really work here. And I don't know which green, so I'm going to swatch to see. Evolving, Abundant, and Enough. What have I done there? Oh, I missed the finger. Enough. I mean, oh, wow. I mean, can I use all three? I don't know which one of those. I think Evolving's too light. Maybe I could use Evolving right on the inside, so it's between. I think I'll use Evolving and Enough. Let's see how that looks. Evolving right here. And now for Enough. Yep. Love it. Love it. Oh, this is so pretty. I mean, it's pretty wild, but it's also pretty stunning. That is... This is why I love makeup. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I was in a foul mood when I started filming today. I've just been out of sorts. My face was like angry with me yesterday, which then in turn made me angry. I'd wanted to film yesterday and I wasn't in the mood. And when I started filming today, to be honest, I still wasn't in the mood. But now I've put this on my eyes and all of a sudden I'm happy. What can I say? That is just... I'm lost for words. I just, wow. Okay, I'm going to finish this off. Concealer under the eyes, mascara, some liner, and then we can dip into the blushes. Well, the Lowlighters and one blush. Right, be back. I'm back to play with the Lowlighters and the blush that I picked up. I've got mascara on and I don't know, like, who am I, because I've attempted a wink. Apparently because I've perfected it once, I'm now a pro at it. I did mess it up. I've done a patch job which does the job, but I mean, you're gonna have to let me know what you guys think, but I think this might be one of the most stunning looks I've ever created. I mean, you've not seen all of the looks I've ever created. I've only seen all the looks I've ever created. But this is stunning. I'm speechless. My flabber is gasted. Yeah. Just, yeah. Now I'm going to try Golden Hour. And that's what Golden Hour looks like. I was originally going to buy all of the blushes and all of the Lowlighters, and then I realised that that was quite a ridiculous thing to do because I might not like the formula. But I've gone with the orange because despite orange being one of those colours that works really, really well on a deeper skin tone, I don't actually have that much orange blush. I've got quite a lot of like purpley, pinky shades and like a natural shade. I'm thinking Paradise Venus from Pat McGrath, but I don't actually have that much orange. So I thought, get orange in this, and then if you like it, you've got an orange blush. And if you don't, you can go on the hunt for a different orange blush. And I've also picked up Off the Grid. That's meant to be the shade that's most flattering for deeper skin tones. And then I also picked up Low Key because that's meant to be the universally flattering shade across the board. As I say, also very nearly picked up Unbothered and I think the other one's Incognito. But more Unbothered. Incognito, I'm not 100% sure I would like that. There's something about the shade that... Not that I don't think it would suit me, but I don't know, it didn't appeal to me as much as the other ones. But after seeing Unbothered on people similar to my complexion, I thought to myself, that might look quite nice actually, but I'm going to try these ones first, and if I really, really like them, I think I'll definitely pick up Unbothered, and I will consider Incognito. Let's try the blush first, and actually, should I do a bit of a swatch first? Ooh. I don't know how well you can see that. From what I gather, the best way to apply this is with a finger. So let's try it. Let's start at the back, about here. And blend that in. Okay, so this is definitely something that's buildable. Let's go in with a bit more. It's actually not as orange as I thought it would be on me. Okay, I might have gone in a bit much the second time around there. I need to remember that a dip and a half is probably sufficient. And I don't necessarily know that this goes with the eyeshadow look, but we're just trying things out. We're just seeing how they work. I don't know about that. I'm not... Like, I'm not wowed. It's pretty. Like, it's nice. I mean, I don't know what I was expecting. It's a blush. It's not like an eyeshadow when you put an eyeshadow on like this and it makes you think, wow. But as I say, yeah, it's probably not as orange. Why have I dipped back into that? Right, well, okay, we'll have to go to the other side now because I've dipped back in. Now that I know what I'm doing, let's see if I can... I think even just one dip is enough. I guess it depends what look you're going for. Yeah, see, that's a lot. I've definitely put too much, I think, on that side. Yeah. Okay, I prefer that. I think, yeah, I was too heavy-handed on the other side. So it just looked a bit much. And don't get me wrong, I normally go in with blush, but I don't know if it's the formula where you don't need to go in as much. I might try Jubilee because I think that's more of a truer orange / coral shade. I think I'd like Jubilee. But to be fair, it's growing on me. It's growing on me. It definitely is. Yeah. No, I do like that. I think I'm glad. I don't think I'd want every single shade. So I'm glad I didn't buy every single shade. But I think I'm going to go back and have a look at the shade descriptions and see if any of the others would be ones that I'd be interested in. But yeah, I do like that. And I'm happy enough applying that just with my fingers. I know some people are a bit funny with applying stuff with their fingers, but I think the warmth of your finger with a product like this helps blend it in. And I'm sure you could get a really good blend with a brush. I've seen people get a really good blend with a brush, but I'm happy enough with a finger application. Sorry, I just keep staring at myself. I'm staring at my eyes because I just think they look stunning. But when we're not on the eyes, we've moved away from the eyes, we're doing the other products. Even though I'm going to end up being a bit mismatched, I'm going to put, what's this? Off the Grid, I think, on this side, Low Key on the other side. See, I don't really know how well they pair, but we're doing it anyway. Off the Grid. And going over top there. Yeah, these don't pair well together. They look a bit muddy together, but that's because I don't think these colours are necessarily meant to go together. I get the idea though. I think I'm going to have to try this again on its own to give it a fair shot and decide how I feel about this. But I mean, a lot of people that I've seen use these Lowlighters have actually used them as blushes. But that's fine. I will revisit. Now we shall see what Low Key looks like. Let's swatch first. Okay, that's a bit more like a traditional highlighter. Yeah, see that works. Put a little bit more on. Yeah, so a bit more like a traditional highlighter, but still not in your face. That's quite subtle still. But on first impression, I do definitely prefer Low Key, especially as an actual highlighter. I feel like Off the Grid would be more like a neutral blush, so I think I'd use that in a way that I might use something like Paradise Venus, whereas this I would use it maybe with a lighter, pinker blush, and this is a bit of a topper. Like, again, it does just about work with this shade, but I think I would definitely use it with a pinker blush and use it as like a highlighty blush topper, and I think that would look really good. And I have to apologise for the lighting. I film with natural light. The sun is playing hide and seek with the clouds today. Okay, so I'm just going to sort of powder, finish off, put something on my lips to finish off my look, and then I'll come back and give my final thoughts. I'm back. I've finished off my face. I've just powdered a few areas, and I've gone in with my current favourite nude lip combo, which is MAC Persistence lined with a NYX lip liner in 807 Cocoa, topped with Antique Rose from Wayne Goss. We'll start with the blush and the Lowlighters. I do like the blush. I mean, it's a blush. I thought I would like it more just from what people have been saying about it. It's a pretty blush, it is. And I think the formula is interesting. And I think because of the way that the formula is, it means that you can build it up if you would like to. I'd be intrigued to see what longevity's like. I'm not going to be doing a wear test because it's already 5:30. Normally when I put blush on, it's like my face eats the blush and it just disappears, and I feel like I have to keep reapplying. So it'd be interesting to see if this is the kind of formula that sticks rather than getting swallowed up. But yeah, it's a nice colour. It blended nicely. It's nice. I like it. For the Lowlighters, I really wasn't sure what to expect from these. I definitely need to try Off the Grid again because I don't think it got a fair shot pairing it with Golden Hour. Looking at it now, I think it works well enough, but I don't think they're an ideal pairing, so I definitely want to come back and use that, see what it looks like on its own on my cheek and possibly with a different coloured blush. What I might do is try and have a look at the Danessa Myricks website and see which pairing she recommends. It's her product, she would know. As for Low Key, I do like Low Key. As I say, that's a bit more of your traditional highlighter. They're both very subtle. They're not, if you're looking for pow, impact, be seen from space highlighter, these Lowlighters, as the name would imply, are not it. They are not that kind of product. This is pretty. I do like that. This is something I will try again with a different colour to give that highlight slash blush topper look. Are they both referred to as blurring balm powders? Yes, they're both the blurring balm powder formula. They feel creamy, but they do kind of blend out into that powder finish. I do like these. Again, not wowed. I didn't put it on and think to myself, this is the most amazing thing I've ever tried. They'd be like a nice addition to a makeup look, depending on what kind of look you're going for, especially this one. Now the star of the show, which on reflection, maybe because I've used that first, anything that I used afterwards that I tried that was new was going to pale in comparison. And you can't really compare eyeshadow and blush, but maybe that's why I was underwhelmed with the... well, not underwhelmed, that's a bit unfair. I think the blurring balm powder formula is nice, but that I can't help but think that because I tried those after I tried the palette, I wasn't as bowled over by them. But yeah, it's apples and oranges, isn't it? But I mean, this is exquisite. And I know I've only dipped into, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4 shades today. No, a bit more than that. 5 shades I think I tried in the end, didn't I? I tried, so I've got Powerful, and then I've got Radiant, and then I've got Protected, and then Evolving and Enough. But I think I did a pretty good job of using as many shades as I could while still creating a look that didn't look like I'd just thrown on a bunch of eyeshadows. I wish I'd added this to my collection sooner. This is a bold statement, but this is the kind of palette that makes me realise what it is I love about makeup. I kind of wish I had done 2 looks, one on each eye, to be able to demo it. I can't imagine that I've just been lucky in trying the 5 best shades in the palette. There's probably a shade in here that's going to wow me even more than the ones that are on my eyes have already wowed me. 100% would recommend it. 100%. And I don't say this lightly because this is not a cheap palette by any means. I picked it up when there was a bit of a sale and I had a voucher. But if you can find it on sale, I highly recommend it. Highly recommend it. Definitely. I'll stop there. I think I have expressed pretty well how I feel about this palette. I was just looking at the palette, and obviously it's centered around affirmations. You've got the I am, and then each of the shades is an affirmation, and you're actually meant to, as you're putting on each of the shades, say I am and then the name of the shade. And one of the shades, I've not used it, but it's called I Am Inspiring, and I've got to say, when I look at this palette, I am inspired. So Danessa Myricks, you have knocked it out of the park with this one. Well done. I hope you found this video useful. I want to thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll see you again in a video in the not too distant future. Bye!